welcome. Welcome to my show, Eva Dias HR Talk. My name is Eva Dias, and I am the CEO and founder of Phoenix Human Capital Solutions. And before I do anything here, I want to thank you, my viewers and supporters. I really appreciate that you take some time to watch my videos, and I will even appreciate more if you interact with me, because I want to hear from you. What do you think about what I'm saying here? Okay? So, my objective here is to help you to manage the most valuable asset of your business, your people. And I've been talking about a lot of topics that really permeate the way we manage people and culture in organizations. And today I found that might be very interesting if I share with you a project, some work that I've done a couple of years ago, but it is very still current. It's about engagement of new generations at work. I started this project and presented it initially in one of my conferences in Leipzig, Germany, in 2019. But I think you are going to agree with me that the content that I'm going to be showing here is still very, very hot topic for all organizations. Particularly now, this is post-pandemic. And I wonder how this is being affected by the pandemic. So let's get started. So I was primarily focused on millennials during this project because millennials are the majority of the people at work already. And I call this intentionally the pursuit of happiness at work. So let's see what that means. So I had an agenda. We are going to be talking about the new generational profile. Again, very focused on millennials. Millennials and the talent management cycle. What has been happening? And how is this influencing the way we hire, we develop, and even we separate from our talent? The role of managers or leaders, it is really, really important. It is this thing that closes the gap. It's about talking biggest misconceptions about millennials. Millennials have been labeled as disruptive people at work. But I have to tell you, it's not about disruption. It's about evolution and transformation, like the humankind go through. And the more we look at it as evolution and transformation, the easier it's going to be, particularly for leaders, to manage millennials. It's not about entitlement. They are labeled as entitled people. They are job hoppers. It's a complete different way of dealing with their jobs. They are indifferent about their job and the company. But indifferent and entitled are not synonyms. Their learning and knowledge are focused on the moment, eventually in the future, but they don't care about the past. The past is over. And work, my friends, there is where the big challenge resides, has less values or value versus prior generations for them. In other words, there is a big confusion in there. We have today 4 or 5 generations interacting at work, and this is causing lots of clashes. The number one truth about it is that leaders, thank God, recognize the importance of the millennial cohort, but they don't know and they lack confidence on how to connect, meeting their expectations and needs, maximize their performance. Because very often, a leader today is from Generation X or baby boomers still. So, in turn, many millennials feel misunderstood and discouraged by the ambiguity that surrounds them. And I always thought that in order for us to solve any challenge, any issue, we need to get to know the root cause. What are the drivers of the situation? And once we get to know about the drivers, what is causing that issue or challenge, then we can start planning to solve for it. So let's ride this journey of knowledge about our friends that from now on I'm gonna start calling workplace clients. Yes, and I will explain what that means. So here it is, all the different generations that are still interacting at work. Veterans are much less, but we have here baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Y, and we already have Generation Z, which I did not consider for the purpose of this work. So I'm not going to go through all this, but just here and there, some of the features for each one of them. So, for instance, work ethic and values for veterans. It was all about respecting authority. Baby boomers, they were more focused on personal fulfillment. Generation X wanted structure and direction. And finally, the millennials, they are entrepreneurials. They are goal oriented. And they don't want to be told what to do. They want to know what they have to do, but it is going to be done their way. When it comes to work, for veterans, that was an obligation. Baby boomers, an exciting adventure to a certain extent. For Generation X, a difficult challenge, just a contract. And for millennials, a means to an end. It's about fulfillment. If that doesn't happen, they are out because they want to be happy at work. Leadership style. Veterans, everything was common in control. Baby boomers, consensual, collegial. Generation X, everyone is the same. Challenge others. Ask why. Millennials, the young leaders of the century. And they couldn't care less about authority. Again, they don't want to be told. They don't want to respect the chain of authority. All they want to do is what they think they can do. And believe me, they can do a lot. I'm going to fast forward here and move directly to barriers for engagement of these different generations. When you talk veterans, they are forced to rely on technology. They are not tech friendly. For baby boomers, oppression by authority, forced to fit the status quo with little or no opportunity to change. Generation X, not enough feedback, lack of freedom at work or schedule. Generation of millennials, why? Not enough feedback, not enough factual knowledge, lack of skills for dealing with difficult people. So, the millennium, let's talk about the millennial profile at work. Who are they? As I said in the beginning, they are already the majority at work. The most racially and ethnically diverse generation, highly educated, but they also have low job and companies attachment. If they don't fit and they don't feel they are being fulfilled in their interests, what matters to them, they will quit. That's the reality. That's why we are facing so much higher levels of attrition at work, much more people leaving much quicker because they find another job right around the corner, the millennials. And let's see how did that relationship evolved and in terms of what they are looking for. So before they were looking, the other generations were more focused on paychecks. Now millennials are focused on contribution and purpose. They really want to make a difference at work, which is fantastic. This is for me the opportunity for this generation at work. Fun and wellness versus now development and well-being. They don't compromise on their well-being. They want to have time for their private lives, for their families, for what they enjoy. Work doesn't take that much of their time anymore, as used to be with prior generations. The role of the boss. The boss was the boss, the line of authority. And this boss was a lot of telling the prior generations what to do versus the leader of millennials coaching them and facilitating everything they need or their pathway to achieve their success at work. The thing about performance review, that was a real process, very bureaucratic. And now we are moving to something called real-time feedback and guidance. We cannot wait 1 year anymore to tell a millennial at work what he or she did right or wrong, and even worse, how that link back to their compensation. In fact, I would strongly advise that one, companies, organizations get away from this very bureaucratic process of performance review, have this much more digitalized to allow leaders to process real-time work in terms of providing feedback to their teams and detach this performance evaluation from compensation. I will explain a little bit more later on. So the development was weakness focused and now it is strength focused. What is the difference? It's very simple. It's been proven scientifically that we evolve much more when we focused on improving our strengths, that thing that we are good at, than improving weaknesses. And we can achieve way much more by doing this. And the investment on the improvement is much higher as well. So think about this. And perhaps next time you put together a training planning or program to improve your team's skills, try to make an inventory of their highly qualified skills instead of, going after that thing that they don't do well. And finally, before there was a focus on job, now the focus is on the whole life integration. So these new generations, they don't want to compromise again on their, spare time to dedicate to their hobbies, to things that they enjoy, to their families, whatever it is. Yes, they want to work, but to an extent, not like before, where we used to be work 100%, and if time allowed, then we would have some fun. That's why I believe personally that work is becoming and can be way much more fun. Unfortunately, we are still living by a transition, or fortunately, because we have all these different generations at work. But I think the future of work is happiness and not the frustration that we see around and the disengagement, the level of disengagement that we see around, particularly in organizations. Now, I think we can raise the question, what can we do to solve for that? And if we are serious about this, we need to really address the issues about managing millennials in the workplace. Get rid of old labels and try this one for change. Move from employees, workers, etc., to workplace clients. My whole career in my companies, we've been always customer centric. And I understood, I was part of that. At that time, I have thought that that was the right thing to do. Because, of course, it goes without saying, without clients, we don't have business. However, today, when I reflect on that, I realize that, in fact, we should have always worked out that element that is in between the business and the client, which are the people delivering what the client wants. Not even what the client needs, but what they want. And once we work it out, I can assure you, companies will become way much more competitive because they are going to be working on something very unique. And they are going to be really meeting and even anticipating what their clients want. Because each and every one of their workplace clients will be working as if they be the owners of the business in their own capacity, in their own piece of the business. And this brings in lots of empowerment, lots of leadership, and the ability to produce as if you'd be the leader of the business and not necessarily having the title because they won't need it. They will be empowered enough to make decisions and have the clients really, really highly satisfied. And clients highly satisfied means more business, means more competitiveness, means setting you apart from your competitors, outperforming them. Think about this for a moment and start to work towards this concept, the workplace clients instead of employees or this or that. So let's test the workplace clients concept with the talent management cycle approach. In fact, the engagement of millennials, the new generations, really needs to start before they join the workplace. That is a finding. Hiring managers, HR, and all those involved need to plan, prepare adequately to address their expectations. And the most valuable and engaging message to be conveyed is you are our workplace client, and we are here for you. In fact, what we want is to transform your experience when at work, and our company is able to offer you a transformational experience if you come and work for us, rather than just the so-called and traditional recruitment process, which is, by the way, also very, very bureaucratic. And oftentimes really doesn't do the job of getting the right people in the right place. And think for a moment the losses that a wrong recruitment can bring to everybody, to the company because of the money and the timing wasted, to the person recruited because this may represent in many cases a big trauma. I know many people that lost their careers because they didn't fit. They were a wrong fit for the position because the recruitment was not right. They were just dismissed, and that was it. They had a big impact in their lives because if we are in this spot, and many of you will agree with me, you may feel depressed. You may feel, the worst person in the world, which is not true. So think about this. Wrong recruitment, wrong fit, and the negative impact of that situation for your business and your people. Also, the people who stays, there will be an impact when you dismiss somebody that did not work. The rest of the people in the organization will be looking around and doubting the ability of this organization and probably start disengage. I mean, it could go very, very broad. And I'm not here to alarm you. It's just a fact. And there are evidences that this will go like this. So, with that in mind, let's test the talent management cycle of workplace clients before hiring and inside the workplace. We're going to be talking about attraction and hiring, culture assimilation, performance, development and growth, and finally, reward and recognition. Before hiring, what we should be focusing on to attract the best people and the right fit for our organizations. Top 6 things when searching for jobs. Major sources. They are mostly looking online for the jobs that they want. Talking about the millennials and new generations. The second source, network, referrals from companies, employees, friends, family members. Job opportunities, easy to find, user-friendly and visually appealing. Compelling offer and differentiators. Offer of mobile phones, and right now, post-pandemic, the possibility of flex time, working from home. And this is something that came to stay. I've seen ads from many companies already offering an allowance that can allow the employees to put together a home office. This is in the ad of the companies for a given job. So it's here. And also think about the opportunity that comes with that for companies. We all know that office facilities is a big line of expenses in the P&L of a company. If you can reduce that space, having people working from home in a more dedicated manner and engaged with what they are doing, this is win-win for everybody, don't you think? So again, think about this opportunity. Maintain strong employer brand. You have to exercise your VCP, visibility, credibility, and profitability. Your existing employees can have a key role in this process of branding your organization as ambassadors, provided that they are themselves engaged enough to do so. Opportunities to learn and grow. Work environment that offers, the enabler here is the work environment that offers challenges and accelerated developmental opportunities. Quality of the manager. They are looking for managers who can support them in their grow professionally. And if they grow professionally, they grow as individuals and engage and care about them as employees. This is the workplace clients. Quality of the senior management. They are looking for a senior management that's trustworthy, that stands for their word. If they promise something, they will do it. Something goes wrong, they have clarity in communication, transparency. That's how the senior management builds on their credibility. Interest in type of work. It's not about a paycheck, it is about purpose. And the work purpose is directly part of life purpose. And if it isn't, it's not going to work. Finally, opportunities for career advancement. This has more value than paycheck. Many of these new generational workers or workplace clients don't quit a company just to make more money if this company is offering them opportunities of growth and quickly. Because one barrier I've seen is the acceptance of the prior generations of advancing the careers of these new generations at work, and this is linked to the experience they had. Remember, things happen much quicker because new generations, they have way much more access to information. They've learned much more, and they learn from innovative sources. They can do it. Trust them. They can do it. Finally, in the workplace, clients in the workplace, engagement strategies and how companies should match it. Assimilation of the culture of the company. You all know that the culture of a company is this company strategy for breakfast. Culture is very, very important, and every company has its own culture. And to have somebody new understanding what is the culture, every company needs to invest a lot on the onboarding. The other day, I was asked, how long do you think it takes for a new hire to assimilate a culture and learn how to navigate the curve? And I said, at least 1 year, because it takes time. So for that, there are many mechanisms. One mechanism that I used a lot in my times with corporations, buddy coach. Have somebody that is senior, have the skills of mentorship to really help the new hire to navigate through the curve and learn the culture and assimilate the culture as soon as possible. Performance measurement. I already talked about this. No bureaucracy. Simplified processes. Real-time feedback. Development and growth. Fast-track career development. Preparedness for readiness. And start with an end in mind. And accept things today happen much quicker. Please. Reward and recognition. Compensation is important, but not the most important thing for them. Development and meaningful jobs and feeling of making a difference are way much more critical for these new generations. Keep your compensation competitive while leveraging increases, but reward with bonuses disproportionately when you see a talent delivering talented results. Closing the gap, the role of the leader, because the leaders are the ones in the front line. First of all, it's not about telling, it's about coaching. It's about asking questions. Think about the power of a question versus an answer, or telling them what to do because this is an answer. If you ask questions, you are going to be very surprised with the ability of your teams to deliver and make them thinking. And when they think and come up with solutions, they are developing. Unboss. Unboss. Create an environment without boundaries and lots of room for creativity, accomplishments, empowerment, accountability, ownership for your teams. Remember, they are very entrepreneurial. They want to be, and if you allow for them to manage their roles as if they be the owners of their mini businesses, chances are that you're going to have a company way much more successful and with people much happier or happy, so to speak. And treat them as a whole person. There's no difference between the workplace client that comes to work every day and the person that this person is outside work. Remember, these are fathers, these are partners, these are people with some challenges, financially challenged. These are people that are very creative, that are full of great ideas, and so on and so forth. So leaders need to more than ever develop the curiosity about each and every one of the members of their teams. Spend time with them. Find out what they do better. Make sure that they are in the right places. And also make sure they are prepared and have all the resources to perform their jobs well at the standards that you expect them to do. That's the role of the leader today. Be the happiest role model to your teams. As leaders, we need to be there first. Make sure that you also, leader, you are happy. You are doing what you enjoy most. And you are being also coached by your leaders to do it this way. And if you are not, you can change it. You can go the other way around. You can talk to your leaders, coach them, and help them understanding the importance of happiness at work, job satisfaction. So let me talk a little bit about the energy leadership driving leader success. As you may know, at this time, I am a core energy leadership coach certified, pardon me. And this is something that can help you and your teams a lot. Starting by saying that happiness is a choice, and it is. I can assure you, personally, I can sign up for that. And you can be happy at work. It is possible. It's all in your hands. You can shift, the levels of frustration and stress into something that brings much more pleasure, and even shift the thank you, it is fine, sorry, TJIF, thank God it's Friday, to TJIM, thank God it's Monday and I'm going to work. How about that for a change? Focus on living the only thing that we human beings can control in our lives. Live the moment, live in the moment. Stop the process of getting so stressed by just focusing on living the moment. Remember, the past is over, future is a promise. Have a plan, but the only thing we can really control is the moment we are living in. And if you all agree with that, I'd be happy to help you navigating a journey or facilitating a journey to lead yourselves as leaders in your teams into a much happier organization through my experience and my coaching skills. Don't forget to reach out and let me know what you think. And you have all my information here, my email, my website, phone number. I really wait for your interactions. And again, I hope I'm not boring you today with this topic, but I found this to be a very critical topic, particularly because of the importance of engaging employees or the workplace clients post-pandemic.